do this. All right, Galacticon 2025. Are you ready? All right. Our first guest, she is an actress whose credits include the Batman Arkham game series, several Star Trek projects. Yesterday we discussed her work on Star Wars projects, including Clone Wars and Bad Batch. And today she joins us as the voice of the Iraqi Kurdish sharpshooter Sniper Wolf in the Metal Gear Solid game series. Please welcome Tasia Valenza! Glad to have you here. And next, he is an actor, screenwriter, director, and producer with a body of work across several fandoms that include Lupin III, The Castle of Cagliostro, Spider-Man the Animated Series, Watchmen, X-Men, and X-Men 2 United as the screenwriter. Today, he joins us as the voice of Solid Snake and Big Boss on the Metal Gear Solid franchise. Guys, welcome David Hayter!
Good morning.
Good morning, good morning, good morning. Day three. Ding ding.
Day three.
Yeah, I know. That's right too. Before we get to the game stuff as it is, I just want to throw this out here. Again, I think I mentioned it briefly yesterday, but you made a wonderful Captain America.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I did. Yeah, that's where I met Jennifer Hale, and was my first recurring animation role, and I got to say the line, "Come on, team, let's win one for democracy."
I was about to say, and this was before Captain America was cool.
Yeah.
For all intents and purposes.
I mean, he was pretty. I think he became cool that day.
Yeah.
What a coincidence.
I know. Something just happened, and people were like, "Well, he's cool now."
And you, my dear,
yes.
You voiced one of my eternal cartoon crushes, Jezebel Jade from Johnny Quest.
I did?
Yeah. the new Adventures of Johnny Quest.
Yes, I know.
It was a lifetime ago.
Yes, I know Johnny Quest is on my IMDb. I just don't remember.
That's how many jobs she's had.
That is very cool. But was she a character that you liked ahead of time?
She's the femme fatale with the heart of gold in the Johnny Quest mythology.
Oh,
she's the independent operator, mercenary type character who ranks men in the handsome guy. They have yes. They have a history. She's kind of the equivalent of Catwoman.
Or Poison Ivy? No, because I guess Catwoman has more of that.
Depends on Poison Ivy. Depends on what version. You know, before the recent generation, Poison Ivy wants to kill the whole world.
Right. No. Yeah. The last.
Now
one.
she wants to be Harley Quinn's girlfriend.
Yes. Yes.
I mean, who doesn't? Right? But
Yes. Well, thank you for that. It's always wonderful because you have characters that most people know, and then, at least for me, and I'm sure David, that there's this crossover that people have been coming up saying, I didn't know you played Poison Ivy or Shaq T or Sniper Wolf, but then there's the unusual fan in terms of one of your characters that played that you don't even remember. So it's wonderful to have this incredibly gifted career where you get to play so many fun.
I was pleasantly surprised at the pop we got about Space Above and Beyond yesterday.
Yeah.
I thought I'd be the only one, and we have a half dozen people. So, all right.
Yeah, that was that. Did anybody see the series Space Above and Beyond? Dare you? Oh, we have that.
Thank you for your support.
There's always one.
You were the one.
It was a really good live action series in the 90s, and I was still doing it on camera, but it's a very, very cool series.
Fun to check it out. So, speaking of cool, we're here to talk about one of the absolute coolest and enduring game franchises of all time. And this one is very peculiar because this series really was a benchmark, a watermark in narrative gaming evolution. You know, kind of the beginning of the experimental stuff, and it was one of those ones that really, really got into it with a very, even though it was Japanese, it felt very Western. It's like the Final Fantasy series is very Japanese. You know, it's very, very Japanese. But this was a shooter but it was stealth. This was problem solving and puzzle solving and stuff like that. And again, as it evolved, it really began, the first games, to lean into a strong narrative and actual, let's script this out and everything else. So again, for you guys being a part of it, thank you. Because this really moved the needle for gaming evolution.
It's my pleasure. So the luckiest audition of my life.
Well, let's go into that. How did this begin for each of you? And I'm pretty sure you were first. You, yeah.
Me?
Yeah.
I just got an audition. I had done Captain Planet 5 years earlier, and Chris Zimmerman Salter, who's directed all of the English sequences for every single Metal Gear. She knew me, and there's some dispute. Jennifer Hale claims that she told Chris to call me in, and Chris is like, no, it was my idea, and whatever. So I'll leave that to history. But yeah, so I went in, and it was this weird house in Hollywood that had been semi-converted into offices and a sound recording living room, and I was like, what the hell is this? But I was doing a lot of non-union things, low-budget things, and I'm like, oh, it's one of these. And then I got in, and they had the Yoji Shinkawa artwork up on the walls, and I was like, oh, I've never seen anything like that. And then, so I just did the audition, and then I got the part and went in to record in the weird living room, which had like 5 mics set up, so we recorded it like a radio play, like we did it together and all the actors. And then I insisted on every game since that we do it all together, that all the actors come in, because it's just so much better for the game. And on the first day, they said, oh, we want to play you a cutscene. And it was Snake shooting down the Hind D helicopter. And I was a gamer, I knew the state of games at the time, and my jaw was on the floor, and I was like, oh, this is a whole thing, people might be talking about this for the next year or so, and here we are, nearly 3 decades later, still talking about it, so that's pretty badass.
Yes.
The gig that keeps gigging.
Yes. Never stops gigging.
So that was the beginning for him, and how did you come about?
Oh, they offered me the part.
Oh, okay.
Is that true?
As they should.
No.
Well, they should have. They should have. Tasia was so much bigger as a celebrity than I wasn't anything at the time.
You were very much somebody, and I had been on camera acting and been doing voiceover for a while, but I really enjoyed. That's one of the reasons I left on camera acting, was because I was loving being so much more able to play roles that on camera you're not allowed to play. But I was loving doing animation, particularly out of all the genres of voiceover, because it was still like I was still getting to act. So no, it was the same thing. I auditioned, and it was just one of the other things that I got. But actually, I think I remember feeling a little uncomfortable about this one because it was non-union. So the first one. So I remember seeing David. I was like, I don't know you. I was very because we're not supposed to be doing this, and I think it was my first time.
And in your mutual defense, there's always been a line of demarcation between union and non-union work. It has. We talked about this yesterday with some of the anime. The wall has kind of deteriorated a bit. Now people are kind of going back and forth a little more freely. There's no longer that, oh, if you go to that side of the fence, you can't come back.
Oh, yeah.
It wasn't that. You just didn't want to get fined or hassled by the union.
Yeah.
I just didn't want to get in trouble with the union.
Yeah, and it was a very, again, I rarely ever did it, so it was, I think because I knew Chris. So I had the opportunity to audition, I got it. We filmed it, or voiced it, and then I think I forgot about it for years until you said, hey, they want to redo this game. And you were the one who said it had exploded, and I was really, I'd never seen it or played it.
Right.
And that was the beginning. But the coolest thing was I never got to see the death scene until somebody said it's on YouTube. And when I watched it, I was crying because I was like, wow, it's really sad. Because you know, when you're doing it, you're in it, but you don't get to see with the music and the effects, and it was a very powerful experience. But you were the one who really keyed me into the success of it, because then you were making sure that we all got taken care of very, very well. Because David became a huge writer between the first one and the time that we redid it, right?
I did Metal Gear in '98, and then I ended up writing the movie X-Men in '99, which kind of came out of nowhere.
Right, let's hear it for X-Men.
You saw our little film. So when they came back to me and said, we need more Metal Gear, we need you to do, first was Metal Gear 2, I think, and they were like, we need you to do the game, and I was like, I can't, I'm writing the Hulk, I'm writing Chronicles of Riddick, I'm slammed, and they're like, well, we really need you, and I was like, well, it's gonna be pretty expensive, and they were like, all right.
Yeah.
And that's how it all snowballed.
And it was really cool. I have to say, David was amazing, because when they wanted us to come back again, they wanted, you know, in animation, you get residuals for the TV, but not for games. And David insisted that we get some better compensation, because he expressed how much they were making in these games, which, you know, really leveled up. And
they wanted to replace everybody for the Twin Snakes, except me.
Oh,
and
I forgot that part.
Yeah, and I was like,
except me too.
I was like, why? And they're like, because everybody's asking for more money, and so I was like, well, they deserve more money, and so we made it happen.
You made it happen.
I made it happen. Well, it's so funny because voice actors don't negotiate, you know, like you're like, I want more money, and they're like, yeah, go to hell. And but screenwriters negotiate. So I was already negotiating these huge deals, and I had this awesome lawyer who, you know, so I was just used to doing it, and I think, you know,
and he didn't care.
Konami was a little shocked at my tactics, but it worked out, and we brought the original cast back, and I was like, you know, you can't replace these actors. You can't replace Jennifer Hale and Tasia Valenza and Cam Clark. I mean, come on.
Hello.
Hello.
And seriously, thank you for that. Not a lot of people put themselves out for that. I can think of one other situation when, in the Star Trek animated series in the 70s Filmation, they were just going to use Shatner and Nimoy, and they were going to get replacements for everybody else, and Nimoy said, you don't get me unless you bring everybody back.
Oh, wow, that's a great story.
You know, he absolutely insisted on that, and Filmation said,
okay. Yeah, that's the right thing to do.
Yes, we're very, very grateful to you for that.
So, was there a memorable moment, any of the recording sessions that you guys can recall? Good, bad, or funny?
Normally I would, but it's Sunday and Saturday. I tend to party somewhat. I mean, it was all funny. I mean, the script was very strange, and you know, there's a lot of weird things.
It is that way too. Like, from the outside, you think, oh, it's a shooter game, and then when you start to get into it, they're like, oh, okay. Honestly, my first discovery to it was the action figures.
Oh yeah.
I known of the game, and then I started seeing some of the action figures, and they just fell into the uncanny valley, just in terms of, what's that big skinhead looking dude with the gargantuan heavy machine gun? And then I look at the back of the car, oh, he's Native American. Well, oh, okay, what's this? Yeah, it was just like, there was something just a little left of sideways that was just weird enough to be interesting.
Well,
and not weird.
And then, so I guess, one of the funniest in the game is the Vulcan Raven scene, and he's like, you know, we would, you know, pull each other's ears and have this thing. And I'm like, you want to pull each other's ears? I'm like, you must be a real threat in a mug tuck eating contest. I was like, what kind of game is this? What the hell is happening?
Well, for me, at first, it was, it's always hard to do a 20-minute death scene.
Right.
And do it.
She's still dying.
And another thing. I wanted to say one more thing.
It's like Deadpool. One more thing.
Yeah, except of course this wasn't funny. It was very real. So I really had to. I remember, because we were acting it together, which was really helpful because doing that kind of thing alone is very, very challenging. But I really remember trying to feel as I was dying, but wanting to express something that meant something to me because they had this connection. And it's almost like, I guess you could, she was this lone wolf who I finally got to share her vulnerability because she knew she was done anyway. So that was definitely hard to do it and to not want to parody it at some point, but I had to really commit to the experience. But I kept dying on camera all the time, so it worked out. I had like a long history of being killed.
You're the Lazarus of entertainment.
Yeah.
Not to mention Poison Ivy and
I know, right?
Shakti. I don't know what it means, but I'm glad to be alive in real life.
And that Sniper Wolf scene is one of my all-time favorite scenes in all of the Metal Gear games. Tasia just killed it, and that scene comes up all the time with the fans. So well done. And that's the other thing too is for the actors who don't game, they don't know what they've done. And so I recently did promos for Metal Gear Delta with Lori Allen, who played the boss, and she's
great actress.
Great actress, and just was amazing as the boss in Snake Eater. And she was like, we got to do an interview. I don't remember what we did. I don't know anything about this game. So I sent her the cutscenes. I'm like, here's everything we did. And then an hour later, she called me just weeping, and she's like, oh my God, it's so beautiful. It's so sad. And like, she's like, I get it now. And I'm like, yeah, I know. It's like 20 years later. She was like, oh my God, what we did was cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's really fun to. Because I've been playing the game, it's my dream to play a game that I was in, so I've been playing them since the beginning, and it's really fun to bring back the actors and go, look what you did, it's incredible.
And I tried to play recently for a charity with Vanessa Marshall.
Oh yeah.
And we're streaming, and I couldn't get out of the first room, so it was just not.
Yeah, you were bumping into a wall.
It's like, I can't do this, okay, I'm never gonna.
I accidentally ate a calorie mate.
But that's okay.
It's tasty.
For any project involving voiceover, what's the most unusual, craziest effort you've been asked to do? And for those with effort, I mean, it's like any sort of sound that is not dialogue, like getting a dying scene, getting thrown into a wood chipper. I've heard some interesting answers to this. So.
Well, I did a commercial for Birdseye, and I remember it because it was. My only word was wow. So it's put the Birdseye is it was a frozen vegetables.
Yes.
Put the wow back into your meal, your dinner, and I got cast as wow. And I did about 30 or 40 different wows, and it was a national commercial that I made ridiculous money on for saying one word. So I'm going to say that was wow, exactly. Wow. And the fact that they figured out to cast me as that wow must have been some je ne sais quoi. Something subtle that I don't know, but anyway, that was my.
You put the wow in wow.
Thank you, Patty.
Listen, I have to do so many crazy sounds, and I've been Snake Eater, I'm eating, and I'm like, ugh, like that's disgusting, and I have to fall off of buildings, so it's like, ah, that sort of thing. And my favorite is electrocution, so I do it like, gritted teeth and all that stuff, and the volts going through. But the funniest was in the game, in Snake Eater, you go to the med screen and you can spin him around and around and around and around. Then when you come back to the game, he'll puke.
Wonderful.
Yeah, it's a little Easter egg. So a little disgusting Easter egg. So I had to make the puke sound. So I'm like, it's like this. But I record in the afternoon, so I had just been to Carl's Jr. Yeah, and
you know how that ends.
And one take, I was like, and I just barfed all over this $1,000 mic, all over the studio. And I'm like, oh my God. And so I'm sure that's the take that's in the game. Like,
I sure hope so.
That is verisimilitude. And so I started cleaning it up, and Chris Zimmerman's like, David, you don't have to do that. I'm like, I really do.
I want to experience it for another scene because I want to remember what this feels like.
No, I was just embarrassed.
Familiar with method acting, but that's the first case of method voice acting I think I've ever heard. Yeah.
It was method vomit.
Yes.
One more thing real quick, just what's for each of you, what's been the best thing to come out of being associated with this franchise?
Wow, the fans, really. I mean, all of you. It's you know, it's not as much fun being famous these days as I'm sure it was in the 80s or whatever. You know, there's so much.
It was better then.
There's so much toxicity. Yeah, I wasn't famous in the 80s.
No social media.
But yeah, it's so much toxicity, and everybody's cranky about this and that, and I don't get any of that. I mean, now and again somebody will say something snarky, but people are so kind and so supportive, and they so love these games, and that comes through with everybody I speak to. It's really inspiring. And you know, the other cool thing is, I get recognized sometimes, but like when I go through TSA and they look at my passport, very often the TSA agent will like look at my name, look at it again, and then look up, and I go, "That's right." And to have a voice that they know so well is like a superpower. It just makes people happy, and so that's the coolest thing for me.
Oh, that's great. I would say that we're here. I mean, it's as an actor, you know, to make any kind of a living, it's a very difficult endeavor, and you have to love the craft. And so when you're doing stuff, you're just in it because it's like, oh my God, I have another job, thank you, God. And to be in something that, well, someone just said to me, a few people said to me, you know, you were a really big part of my childhood. And that's a really incredible feeling as a performer in any way, because we don't know the effect we have, and that's a beautiful response because, you know, in theater, you have the connection with the audience in real time, and of course, even in movies, you're constantly working with the partners. But in voiceover, we're very solitary in a lot of ways, so we don't get to work a lot with our peers, and therefore we don't know the effect. And before social media, we really didn't know the effect. So to know that our performances have meant something and that we're able to still mean something to this day is very moving and very meaningful.
Great. Yeah, and I've been doing these shows now for, I don't know, 10, 11 years, and I was talking to Tasia about it, and I'm like, you need to come to these shows because these people love Sniper Wolf and you know, and Poison Ivy and all the other things. But
yes.
I was like, you need to share the love.
And Jade and Johnny Quest.
Thank you.
And the one she doesn't even remember.
That's right. And as
I'm the only one, probably. So that's okay.
We have a lot of bombs too. I mean, you know, has anyone seen Rappin'? Thank you.
No. Sit down.
So it's great. When
I was a Breakin' fan.
Oh, there you go. That was
Break
the
Into
original.
Electric Boogaloo.
That was the original, and Rappin' was like the let's do another version of it.
Rappin' was the knockoff.
Yes.
It was the Friday the 13th to that was Halloween.
Yes, yes. So, but don't tell me you saw it.
I did not see it.
Thank
Sorry.
you.
I don't think it rolled over on HBO. I think it was on Showtime.
Yeah. But it was considered from Siskel and Ebert one of the worst top 5 of that year. So there's something for that. If you're gonna be bad, be bad.
Be the best at being bad.
In Scotland, I hear there's a cult following, so I did get a request for cameo for it. So you never know. You never know.
If I had bricks in my family's living room, not just me, but my parents would have gone through a million TVs watching Siskel and Ebert. I said, no, that's wrong.
For any of you who don't know Siskel and Ebert, they were huge. They were the critics. So they like if they liked something, you were in, and if they didn't, you weren't. So.
And they were right having time, whatever. It's all good. It's all good. All right. Thank you for indulging my capricious curiosity. I'm going to go on out and take some questions from this audience. Okay.
Who thinks we got one? All right, then we got enough. We'll go ahead and start a line.
Totally fine.
Okay, come on up, Chief. Hey, what's your name?
I'm Justin. Nice to see you again.
Justin.
So Hideo Kojima is a pretty eclectic guy, from his experimental storytelling to some of his silly Easter eggs. You might remember one where if you call Campbell in a locker, something happens. So I was wondering, what was your funniest, weirdest, or most interesting experience working with him?
Well, the funniest part of working with him is I never did. So,
Did he come to the first?
he came to visit, but yeah, he directs the Japanese version of the game, and then Chris Zimmerman-Salter directs the English language version. So I never worked with him at all. Like, he came to visit while we were doing Metal Gear 4, and he sat in the booth, but didn't say anything. So I met him 3 times. He's very quiet. He had very adorable red shoes, and that was it. So sorry, it's not a terribly satisfying answer, but I don't know the man any better than you do.
I have a different question for Tasia.
Go ahead.
I don't have anything.
Doesn't bother me.
So, like your dying scene in the first Metal Gear Solid, you might know that Otacon had fallen in love with your character during the course of the story. Do you feel like you had any attachment to him as well as your character, or if it was like a one-sided thing?
I've always wondered that.
I'm gonna go with one-sided. I think
When she was dying, she spoke almost exclusively to Snake.
Snake!
Otacon's like, oh, my heart is breaking. And she's like, who are you?
I think it was like whatever energy there was, it was between, these snipers, because she respected his prowess.
That's true.
Yes, but thank you for the question. Isn't yours? That's Ultimecia. See, there's the incredible, beautiful tattoo that Justin has, and for Ultimecia from Dissidia, and very rarely does anybody come up to me for that role. So thank you very much for the appreciation.
Hey, what's your name?
Hi, I'm Paul.
Hi, Paul.
So you're talking earlier about like the death scenes and such, and Metal Gear is very famous for its story. So for each of you, what do you find to be the most poignant, either emotional or message for the games? That would be political, social, whatever.
Wow.
Don't get caught.
I think that's a good message. Try to avoid getting shot. The anti-war message, the anti-killing people message, I think is pretty profound. And people argue over whether or not it's an anti-war game. I think it's pretty clear. I mean, Snake is going around. I think the fact that you can go through all of the games and never kill anybody, just use the trank gun.
You can?
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, I've never done it.
Oh, somebody here's done it.
Yeah, he did it. He got Big Boss Extreme.
That's incredible. That's incredible.
Yeah.
He gets a candy.
So there's so much artistry put into just the beauty of human life and the beauty of death, and like the Sniper Wolf death scene, the boss death scene. I mean, there's just such a profound beauty to it, and a profound appreciation for life that I think Kojima puts into the games, and I think that's a great message to put out into the world.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, what's your name?
I'm Bobby, it's nice to meet you.
Hey.
Hi.
My question for you is, as the games are being translated from Japanese into English or in production, did you have any input as actors onto the dialogue, like, if you felt like it wasn't quite sounding right?
No. I'm a professional writer, so I'm like, am I really gonna say this? Like, what the hell am I talking about over here? And so,
Sell it.
early on, I'd be like, hey Chris, can we change this from and to also? And then they'd take 45 minutes, contact Tokyo, and then come back and go, no. So everything was
Precise.
was repeated as written. Everything.
That's funny.
Thank you.
Great question, though. Thank you. Hey, what's your name?
My name's Ed.
What's your
Yes, sir. You wrote the screenplay for X-Men 1 and 2. Now that MCU purchased X-Men, would you be interested in writing a new screenplay for the MCU?
That's a table question.
Well,
That's okay.
I'm interested. I don't think, Marvel's. I know Kevin Feige. He's going to want to do something totally different. So I would love to do it. But also, I did it, and I'd rather do something new. But look, if they want to call me and bring me in as an X-Men consultant or something, I'd be delighted. But I wouldn't hold my breath.
Good question.
Hey, what's your name?
Hi, I'm Ben.
Hey, Ben.
So Metal Gear Solid 1 and 3 got remade. Are there any other Metal Gear games or any other projects that you've worked on that you would like to see remade?
Well, I'd love to do another Guyver movie. Right? I know. Everybody, people ask me about that. I was in the star of Guyver 2, and
The good Guyver movie.
Yeah, well, your words.
I can say it.
Right?
I'll say it for you.
Thank you. No, he's correct. And Steve Wang and I actually met with MGM a couple of years ago to talk about a new Guyver movie, but they couldn't clear the rights. Like there's just like rights issues, and it's really frustrating. So I'd love to see that. And I don't know. There's a few other things I wouldn't mind revisiting, I suppose.
Well, I'd like Metal Gear 1 to be remastered the way.
Would be pretty cool to do a remaster of Metal Gear Solid, like Delta. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'd be down for that.
That would be so neat to see.
Yeah.
What the Sniper Wolf would look like without those little pixels.
Yeah. Right.
Tasia, I think time is right. We're ready for Space Above and Beyond to come back.
Right.
Patty!
Listen, the demand is huge, right? One guy?
Yeah, yes.
And of course, my character died in that one too. Don't know why. Don't know why.
The aliens got her body. They brought it back. You come back as their ambassador.
Well,
I have taken their form to talk to you.
I'm being all my children, they're soap operas in general. There's no way you can't come back. So there you go.
And we established yesterday it's really easy for Shakti to come back too.
That's right.
Just because you got one to the chest, in Star Wars doesn't mean anything.
That's right.
Fun question. Thank you. Mm-hmm. All right. You already got the
Big
prize
boss.
too. So, okay. What's your name?
Jeremy.
What you got?
All right, so I think I speak on behalf of every Metal Gear fan when I pitch this idea in question. So for the original MSX Metal Gear game that's unvoiced, would it be possible, ever, if we got you and Kiefer Sutherland as Solid Snake and Big Boss to remake that game with the voices, bring it 3D to life, and have Konami do the whole thing? Would that ever be possible, with remakes being such a big thing in today's world?
Now I'd probably tell them they couldn't hire Kiefer. It doesn't make any sense. They're clones. They should sound exactly the same. So I don't buy that. But I would love to do I would love to make those games into proper modern console games.
All right, there you go. We'll give you an advisement. All right. Hey, what's your name?
Joseph. So I saw on Twitter that you started playing Phantom Pain after it's been 9 years since it came out. So
I did, yeah.
What do you think of it now that you played it?
Yeah, I was like, I'm not playing that. That's a bunch of bullcrap. And then I played it, and I'm like, oh my god, this is really fun. And I feel like it's the best gameplay of all this series. I mean, the gameplay of it is astounding. It's so beautiful. I finally figured out why you could make your horse poop. So for those of you who don't know, you can be riding your horse and you can just press a button and make it poop, and you're like, what's the point of that? What Kojima madness is this? But to solve a certain mission, you have to do it. You poop in the road, and a Jeep comes along and it hits the poop and it skids out and it stuns all the soldiers in the Jeep. And you can't solve this one particular problem without that. So I thought that was pretty cool. And I thought it was just absolutely gorgeous and really, really fun to play.
Thank you.
Thank you for serving a country.
Think we can go through all these people if we do a lightning round? We get to it?
Yeah.
Wanna try? Okay, here's the deal. Okay.
Rapid?
I'm gonna ask your name, and you go right to the question, skip the, I've been a fan for so long, I love this, everything else too. Okay, we're good,
Rapid fire.
Okay, ready, and go. What's your name, what's your question?
Leilani, my question's for both of you. Do you have any line that you guys have done that has been insanely hard and you've had to do multiple takes of?
I can't remember any.
Insanely hard. No, I don't think so. I mean, Shagahod sort of hung me up a little bit. I was like, Shagahod? What the hell is this? The answer is no. We're both pretty good, and we're just reading this, doing the lines as we encounter them the first time. So it's a pretty. You got to be fairly skilled to pull it off. But the one thing was, on the first game, I was saying I'm going after Metal Gear, and they're like, you're not saying it right. And I'm like, what? How else can you say it? Like Metal Gear, and they tried to explain it, and I just couldn't get it. And then Chris Zimmerman Salter goes, how would you say Richard Gere? And I was like, Richard Gere? And they were like, that's it. And I was like, okay.
Did you say it different after that?
Yeah, I said Metal Gear.
So
it's the emphasis on the gear. On the gear. You can't hear it?
Yes, now I hear it.
Metal Gear. Richard Gere.
Gear. Much more important than Richard.
What's your name?
Justin.
What's your question?
Do you guys have a preference between the original Metal Gear Solid or Twin Snakes?
Again, I guess I'll take this one.
Please.
Because she didn't play either of them. When we did Twin Snakes, I was like, we need to replicate this exactly. All the performances, I remembered exactly what I did. And then I didn't find out until years later there was some controversy between, some people were like, oh, Twin Snakes is so much worse and this and that. And then I listened to it and I'm like, oh, I sound completely different. The snake voice had gotten into my head and it turned a lot raspier, and so I don't personally have a preference, but I just found out there are people who do, and that's fine, and that's life, man. Like what you like.
What's your name? What's your question?
My name is Josh. I just wanted to say thank you for all the games that y'all have done for us.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, what's your name? What's your question?
My name's Ben, and my question is, did you guys watch the Japanese audio first before recording for the English, or did you just go into it raw?
No, we went into it raw. We just had the script. No, the only Japanese we heard was the cutscene where they did the Hind D, shooting down the Hind D. So I didn't hear the Japanese, fully until YouTube, really.
What's your name? What's your question?
Kelvin, and my question's for Tasia. Which Arkham is your favorite that you voiced?
Which Arkham for Poison Ivy? Oh, well, I really loved 3, Arkham Knight, because she really ironically becomes the Shiro, sacrificing herself for the humans, but because she loves nature. So it's nice. I always like when a villain shows the dimensions, because all great villains or heroes have dimensions. So it's wonderful to know that they believe in what they're doing, and she believed in it so much that she died for it. So that was very cool. Died? Did you notice she died again?
I literally just replayed that scene in Arkham Knight, the end of the Poison Ivy story, and it's really beautiful. And yeah, it's just a transformational performance.
Thank you.
What's your name? What's your question?
My name is Carlos Davis. For you, you said that originally, for the Twin Snakes, you wanted the original voice actors, to come back. Was this the same instance for Delta as well, the upcoming game?
No, because Delta. Well, I think Konami kind of learned their lesson, and they were like, stick with what works, but. No, Delta is it's the original voice track, so it will look amazing, but it will sound exactly the way it did before. I've done a few cleanup lines.
But they literally just used the same.
Yeah, so it's all the same performances and all the same people, which I'm very grateful for.
What's your name? What's your question?
Hi, my name's Chris. In the very end, they state, maybe this world's better without snakes. Do you find that the ending for Big Boss and Snake himself to be fitting or satisfying?
Yeah, well, I thought the ending of Metal Gear 4 was a beautiful send-off for Snake. I mean, it's sort of a bummer. He was, it's like, Meryl's gonna marry Johnny Sasaki, and I'm gonna go to my ranch and die. But it was so beautiful and tragic in the way of great Japanese films and great epics, and so I really love the send-off for those characters.
Hi, I'm Patty. I want to know what kind of upcoming projects you guys might have that you're allowed to share with us.
Oh, I've got a bunch of things. We just announced I'm writing and producing a movie with Top Dog, Kendrick Lamar's manager, and a writer-director, Dallas Jackson. So we're making that movie for Fox. Maybe I shouldn't say that. I'm working on a video game that I can't say what it is, but as a writer for the first time. So I'll let that bounce around the internet.
I'll let you know when I can talk about my character.
Yeah, right. Yes, we'll chat.
Hint. No pressure, of course, unless they really want me to.
Well, who wouldn't? I'm doing. I'm still doing expansion worlds on Star Wars: The Old Republic. I have a little indie game called Metal Gear Delta coming out in August. I have another indie game that just came out called Steam Dolls with Jennifer Hale and Otacon. So Chris Randolph. So check that out. That's a cool, weird French, awesome game. So got a few things.
I have been focusing. I have some things that I can't talk about, but I gave a TED talk called "Give Great Voice," where I really wanted to share this idea that we can all channel the skills of a voiceover actor in our own lives, so we can play our personal and professional roles more successfully using our verbal communication, which I still think is very important. And I just got the opportunity to now write a book for it, and so that I'm really focused on that, as well as I do a lot of commercials and things like that. But that's my main passion project now, is to bring that. So if you haven't seen Give Great Voice, it's a really cute TED Talk, and it's only 16 minutes, and that's my goal is to inspire all of you and all the people you love to know that you have incredible power and wisdom, and that your voice is your most powerful communication tool, and please continue to use it. As #humans need humans.
And one final question before we go. Would you like to take a picture with this wonderful audience?
Yes!
All right, everybody, you know the drill. Come up towards the stage, not on the stage, but towards the stage. Want to take a picture of this cast and all of you.